The Appellate Court in Lagos, southwest Nigeria, has affirmed the re-election of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, as upheld by the Lagos State Governorship Election Tribunal on September 25, 2023. A three-man panel led by Justice Yagata Nimper, who delivered the judgment on the appeal filed by opposition parties, dismissed claims of forged credentials, questions of citizenship status, and issues surrounding candidate nomination and sponsorships as raised by both petitioners. News Central's Nii Omoni has more.
The Lagos Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal of PDP's Olajide Adediran, seeking to overturn the tribunal's judgment, affirming Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Obafemi Hamzat's election. The three-man judge panel, led by Justice Yagata Nimpa, held that Adediran could not claim unfair hearing as his additional witness statement was filed outside the stipulated time. Additionally, the court held that Adediran cannot challenge Sanwo-Olu and Hamzat APC primary as he was neither an aspirant nor APC member. The court also stated that nomination, sponsorship and candidate qualifications are pre-election matters for regular courts, not the tribunal. On the forged certificate allegation, the court held that the Constitution does not require attached certificates, and Adediran failed to prove forgery claims by not providing the original.
What next is that we're going to review the situation and we'll take a decision.
The court dismissed the appeal of Labour Party's Gbadebo Roads Viva. The appeal was based on claims that the deputy governor renounced his Nigerian citizenship. However, the justices found that the appellant did not provide sufficient evidence to prove the claims. Under Section 28 of the Nigerian Constitution, Nigerians do not lose their citizenship even if they take citizenship in another country. Therefore, the court determined that the burden of proof was not fulfilled.
As far as we are concerned, the team of our respondents in this case have been consistent. The rule of law, the Evidence Act, the Electoral Act, and the regulation in which all of us as litigants, especially in election matters, must comply with. There's no shortcut to it. We have always said election proceedings, election petition are sui juris. So what applies in ordinary civil matter may not also apply.
The election took place months ago. The people of the state voted for us. So that for us is the most important. The ability to convince fellow citizens, Lagosians, on what we intend to do. So those are the things we must focus on and do. So we will not be distracted by this. It's important. It's part of our process. In my view, it improves our democratic credentials. However, we must do what we have to do. And that's what the governor and myself and the whole cabinet, that's what we are doing.
The ruling leaves the victory of the governor and his deputy intact as they continue in their roles leading the state. These double affirmation deals a significant setback to the petitioners in their attempt to invalidate the election outcomes through litigation. Nii Omoni, reporting for News Central Lagos.
To discuss this, I am being joined by a legal practitioner and human rights activist, Wale Ogunade. Good morning and thank you for joining me once again, Wale Ogunade.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's nice to have you here.
To God be the glory.
All right, so Wale, the appeal court in Lagos has affirmed the judgment of the tribunal, confirming the return of Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Obafemi Hamzat as governor and deputy governor of Lagos State, respectively. Now, was this expected in any way?
Obviously, it is expected. You see, the issues of elections are particular. They are special. And any typical lawyer who knows these onions knows that we call it sui generis. It's a special type of election that you have to prove your case and you have to take appropriate steps at the appropriate time. There is time limit within which to take steps. And you are not allowed to play hanky-panky. So the petitioners, as we have seen, when the elections were coming up during the primaries, they ought to all these things that they took to the tribunal and to the court of appeal as things they ought to have taken before a high court. They are matters, they call it pre-election matters. If any matter, if you are dissatisfied with the step taken by a candidate that you know you are running against in an election, it is better. I hope, of course, all these election tribunal matters and all these court matters and all, really they are deepening democracy, because the next election cycle, you can be sure that all those who lose the election and decide to go and test it in the court will look at it very well. That are we going around the issue of substantial compliance? Are we going around the issue of certificate forgery? Are we going through the issue of false name or false declaration? All these issues have not been tested very well. So no doubt some of our colleagues will go on air and start pontificating on what is not, trying to turn the head of the masses around. But again, the law is not something that you play on sentiment. You play law in the law court. So to us, and for people like us who follow the rule of law genuinely, we know that these petitions will definitely fail, because it is about proof. I like the way the law came
just
up.
talking about proof, if you can, briefly tell us in specific terms what legal arguments or evidence might have been pivotal in the Court of Appeal's decision to uphold Babajide Sanwo-Olu's election victory over the challenge presented by PDP's Abdulaziz Adediran and also Labour Party's gubernatorial gubernatorial candidate Gbadebo Rhodes Viver. Can you tell us, just briefly but specifically?
Yes, very briefly. For Babajide, for what's his name now? Jide, what's his name now? Jando. Obviously, if you are not a member of a political party, you can't go there and begin to poke nose, as we call it, or busybody into their activities, telling them that this is not the candidate, this is not the way they should present their candidate, and so on and so forth. It is the business of the political party to present its candidate. And once that has been done, it is not your business as an outsider to begin to busybody, poke nose on, or to look at what they have done. And that's what the court told him. Ordinarily, it is a member of a political party that can come up and say, yes, I'm a genuine candidate, or as a party member, the process that threw up this candidate was not followed properly. There was, of course, in these electoral issues, there's what we call partial, substantial, or total compliance. The primary that brought him in was not complied with either totally, or it was complied in partially, or it was not complied with at all. That for that. For Rhodes Viver, he said that the man forged the certificate. And the principle of law is that he who alleged must prove. You can't just go and begin to tell stories. The story does not sell in a court of law. It is facts that we want. You say someone forged a certificate, then you prove. If you don't prove, then you have just come to waste the time of the court. And I appreciate the judgment of the law lords in this matter.
All right, Wale, since you also agree that the ruling was expected, now, do you think that this entire process further strengthens the confidence in the electoral body and also the judiciary of the country?
Well, if people don't want to have confidence in it, there's their own cup of tea. The process is on. And of course, to me, all these things that are happening are, just as I said some few seconds ago, goes to deepen democracy. If anybody wants to conduct an election, either INEC or a candidate, he will sit down very well, have a think tank, have a strategic committee to look at it and begin to look at the steps they are taking or that their opponents are taking to know when to strike. You don't strike when the snake is gone. You strike before when the snake is there, so as to kill it very well. Not that you allow the snake to go, you now kill it in its tail. And of course, there are some snakes you don't go near the tail anyway. But be that as it may, the issue is that electoral issues are special issues. And for you to know what to do, you must have gone round, ask your lawyer to do a good research, and you to do a formidable team, put a formidable team on ground that will work around for you, helping you to see all those loose ends, then you cover the tracks. Not that election matters are difficult to win. Obviously, you can upturn election matters if you do your homework very well. Yes, like issues that, yes, I won in polling unit, so. This is my result. And they have removed it, just as what made Hope Uzodinma to becoming the governor. It is about you proving your case beyond reasonable doubt, not coming to court and tell stories. I won, and you have no story. I was told. Those who told you, you didn't bring them to court. And we have to print document. And everybody know, any lawyer knows that matters before a court are front-loaded, and there are days within which to front-load. If you fail to do all these things, definitely at your own detriment, and no court, nobody can save you. Not the law cannot save you, and there is no sentiment that can save you.
All right, Wale,
of course, we are always
sorry to cut you short, but just in one word or one sentence, you know, in cases like this, you know, once you've gone to the petitions tribunal, you lost, you moved to the appeal court and you've lost. Can you tell us what recourse remains for the aggrieved party, you know, after all this, just in one sentence on one word, after the dismissal of by the Court of Appeal, what recourse remains?
Get prepared for the next election.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Wale Ogunade, for joining me on the news to discuss this particular issue. We appreciate you for your time.
To God be the glory.